How is everybody? Isn't it great to be back in person? Anyway, thank you, Erica, and to the social shakeup. I'm so excited to be here. So, who am I? So I never imagined when I started as a frontline person at McDonald's, where I was a star, and what that meant was I was a store area representative and gave the birthday parties, wore the hamburger costume, and gave out chicken nuggets at the drive-through window, that it would drive for me a lifelong passion of working for iconic brands that serve others. So, started at McDonald's, came full circle. I ended up getting my MBA later and studied McDonald's and how they entered into China and how they got the potatoes into China, how they grew the cows. So full circle there. I have worked for Honey Baked actually twice and have been the CMO there twice. Obviously love the brand. It's a wonderful, delicious brand that consumers really love with a great culture. I worked for Honey Baked for 16 years, then left, went to work for Arby's Restaurant Group, where I was the VP of brand and the vice chairman of their foundation. Had an opportunity to go work for Interface, which is a global flooring company that's built around purpose. I think actually somebody from Floor will be here today, and I'll talk a little bit about Interface. And then had the opportunity to go back to Honey Baked and serve again as their CMO. So just a little bit of background. So what you'll hear from me today, first we'll talk about brand and great brands and iconic brands. And then we'll talk about purpose. And I know you probably hear a lot about purpose in your world, but I'll talk a little bit about what it means to me. I'll give some examples. I'll talk about Interface and some of the great work that they did, and that'll be a little case study. But then we'll also talk about some smaller brands and how they've delivered purpose. And then I want to talk to you about personal purpose and something that I'm working on as far as a future career. So, what is a brand? A brand stands for perception that a consumer has about your product or your service. It makes you identifiable and differentiable in the marketplace. And so first you've got the brand idea, so the essence, the personality of the brand, the rational benefits, so more the left brain part of the brand, the emotional part, the right brain, and then the attributes. And what I'll do, I'll talk really quickly about Volvo. So anybody who can tell me what you think the brand idea of Volvo is? Luxury, safety. So that at the heart of it, it is for them about safety. But their personality is very luxurious, it's sleek. The rational benefits are that it is safe. And so everything they do is designed to make the car safe. And whether it's, and I have a Volvo, so if I'm driving out of the lane, it starts beeping wildly to let me know that I'm getting too far out of the lane and not to get hurt. The emotional benefits are, and my daughter drives a Volvo too, and I don't work for Volvo, so it's, we just are big fans of it, but you get into the car and you feel like you're in a tank, and so it does make you feel safe. And then some of the attributes are, you know, great cup holder, beautiful design, great dashboard, sleek seats. So that's an example of how a brand runs through all of the different areas. So here's just an example, and these are symbols of iconic brands. Can anybody tell me who the brand is on the bottom left? Mercedes. How about on the bottom right? MasterCard. So these are examples of great brands and iconic brands. So we're going to move a little bit into purpose. And what is purpose? So purpose is doing things intentionally and hopefully for good. It's a reason to exist beyond making money. And powerful brands either relate to the purpose and what they sell, so it's synergistic to what their product or service is. So why is purpose important? And I got this information from Deloitte in a study that they did, but 52% of purpose-driven brands experience 10% or more growth versus non-purpose brands, which are more in the 42% range. 66% of purpose brands have global transformation versus 48% of non-purpose. 52% have major transformation, where only 16% of non-purpose brands have major transformation. It also creates happier employees. People want to come to work and feel like they're doing more than just making a profit or growing shareholder profit or the stock price. They want to feel like they're doing more. Where non-purpose, the associates are kind of, meh, it's a paycheck, it's good, but employees really want to work for companies that have a purpose. So the key takeaway here is purpose brands drive more growth, drive more innovation, and drive more transformation. And they have happier people working for them. So this all caused me to go in and look and see what Gen Z and millennials think and what are their top brands. And what I took away from this, and Gen Z is very technology savvy. They love their phones. A lot of communication is done through the phone. So where millennials, very digitally savvy, very technology savvy, millennials have really driven the Gen Xers and the boomers to become more digitally savvy and to make sure their brands are staying ahead. But the differences to me in their top brands, the Gen Z are very focused more on technology brands such as Discord, Sony PlayStation, Spotify, where the millennials, the difference is Peloton, which is has community, REI, and Delta. So they're taking those purpose brands and creating more experiences. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, and but those are a few insights of top brands. So here are some of my favorite brands and their purpose statements, and I'll tell you why I think so. So Coke, and Coke's based here, but a big global brand, and their purpose is to refresh the world and make a difference. And why I like it is fun and it's simple. And they've gotten some backlash over the years, but they've also done a lot of work as far as sustainability, water, very, very global again. My second one is eBay, and I do a lot of shopping on eBay, and it's to empower people and create an economic opportunity for all. And in here, it's a win-win-win. So the brands win because they're able to sell some of their overstock inventory. The consumer wins because it's cheaper and it's fun. And then the seller wins because in a lot of cases, it's a little cottage industry for them, or a way that they can earn a side hustle or a main hustle. Delta's based here, and Delta is my favorite brand. And their purpose is connect people to opportunity while expanding the understanding of our planet and people within it. They say we know both on the air and on the ground our business decisions have the ability to influence and change the world. And I think it's just a beautiful purpose statement. The other reason I love Delta so much is also their app. They make everything so easy to travel. Everything from my wallet and keeping points to communicating when my bag gets on the plane and when the flight is about to happen. They also did a really good job during the pandemic of, hey, when you're ready to fly, we're here, and did a lot around safety protocols and making sure that consumers felt safe. Another brand that's headquartered here in Atlanta is Chick-fil-A, and they have a great purpose, and it's to glorify God by being a faithful steward to all that is entrusted to us, and have a positive influence on all who come into contact with Chick-fil-A. They developed this purpose many, many years ago, actually during the recession, probably 20 years ago, and it was a time that their business was down, and they were very concerned about results and, how are we gonna make it. But what this did, it really changed their trajectory. And if you go into a Chick-fil-A, it's hard. I've got an 18-year-old. The 18-year-old kids are my pleasure and just happy to be there. And so it translates through all their touch points. And then the last one, Starbucks. As it's been from the beginning, our purpose goes beyond profit. We believe in the pursuit of doing good. And so for many, Starbucks is the third home. They are getting some backlash right now from some of their crew, the baristas and the crew members, because it has been all about purpose. And when the pandemic hit, for them, it's been all about getting consumers through the drive-through, and so they're having a little bit of backlash, but I think they've done a great job of their sustainability story, providing insurance for their part-time hourly workers. So it'll be interesting to see how it all ends up, but a great brand nonetheless. So with that, I'm going to talk to you about Interface. And Interface is also based here, but it's a multinational company with manufacturing in Amsterdam, Shanghai, LaGrange, Georgia, and Australia. Truly a global company. The founder of Interface, his name is Ray Anderson. He started the company 50 years ago, and for 20 years built the business, and a very successful business. But carpet manufacturing is a dirty business. It's you're working with petroleum. It's a lot of emissions, and so he had what he called a spear in the chest moment, where he wanted to change the way Interface did business, but also how the world did business. And so he set forth on a very bold, audacious sustainability mission and changed the practice of how Interface went to market, how they manufactured, how they communicated. And the first part of the mission, or the journey, and he called it Mount Sustainability, was to do no harm. So to make sure everything was recycled and used good water, good energy. So he's got a couple books out and a TED Talk and a great story. So that was the first piece of it. When I was there and served as the CMO, we wanted to actually move from just doing no harm to really becoming the world's most sustainable company, and set forth on instead of it just being do no harm, to be very proactive and to lead industry to love the world. And the Interface's mission and purpose is climate take back. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you a little video that we put together that was the springboard for the climate take back, and then I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. So that was a fun project. Animators from South America created the film. But again, it was the springboard for Climate Take Back. And Climate Take Back has 4 areas. And the first is to love carbon. And it's bringing carbon home. So that's everything from planting trees and building rooftop gardens. It's to live zero and to try to conserve and recycle. It's about leading industry to love the world, and so it's encouraging other business owners and brands to participate. And then it's letting nature cool, so global warming being a part of that. So I encourage you to check out Interface and what they're doing. They've got a really cool story. But you might be wondering, oh gosh, I work for a really small brand or a nonprofit, and how do we create purpose in my organization? And all brands can have purpose. And an example is one brand that's here, the King of Pops. They did a yoga retreat on the Beltline and passed out the King of Pops, another brand, Tom's, the buy one, give one. There's a small brand or it's not even a brand, it's a company that's Wealth Advisors that actually partnered with Honey Baked, and there were only 6 people in the office, but we partnered with them to give Meals on Wheels and to go out and do good in the world. So I think there's opportunities for any size business, any brand, and nonprofits already have a great purpose, so to continue to evolve your purpose. So I'm going to shift gears now, and I'm going to talk to you about personal purpose. And this is something that's near and dear to me. I've done purpose and branding exercises for companies, lots of them, but I decided to do it for myself. A friend of mine and a mentor, Jeff Hillemeyer, who owns Dragon Army, and his company is filled with purpose, and he personally has a great personal purpose. And at the heart of it, personal purpose is about what makes you passionate, doing what you love, doing it with the people you love, and giving the world what it needs. And so Jeff encouraged me to do this for myself, and I did, and I'll share it with you. So my personal purpose is to lead a big life that's well-lived, focused on balancing purpose and passion and living it with the people I love. I recently wrote a book, and it's called Living on a Smile, and it's 16 ways to lead a big life and lead with love. It's really a guidebook and a toolbox that I used along the way, and it's a celebration of colleagues, mentors, family, friends who have helped along the way. And so the book comes out July 12th, very excited about it. And I would say the key takeaways from this and from studying brands, studying purpose, is brands that have a purpose are more fulfilled. They're able to take the long view and the high road. They have an outsized positive impact on the world. It drives higher growth, better transformation, and happier people. When you're authentic about it, it drives more profits, and you're able to do more good. And then purpose brands have staying power and tenacity. So with that, I encourage you to stay humble and kind, and I think I'm going to have Erica come up, and she's going to ask a few questions, and so we'll take it from there.